Good morning, honorable members. Am I audible, honorable members?
Yes, Chair, you are.
Thank you very much. My sincere apologies for starting 5 minutes after. I was on a call with Chair of Chairs. He just called before 30:30. So we are on that back and forth about our trip. We'll talk a little bit about it at the end of before we end the meeting, just to brief members on where we are. Do we meet a quorum to start the meeting, Ms. Boss?
Yes, Chair, we do need, as we are adopting the minutes, but on the floor we've got 6 members, including you, so we can proceed, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, there is the agenda. Can you flight the agenda, Ms. Boss? But it's basically welcoming and opening. Apologies. We are considering and adopting the oversight report of Eastern Cape and KwaZulu Natal, clarity seeking questions and responses, consideration and adoption of oversight visit to eKapa mine. If you can flight it, Ms. Boss, and clarity seeking questions.
Okay, I'm trying to flight it, Chair.
And then we will consider and adopt the minutes of the 24th February 2026, minutes of 17 March 2026, minutes of 24 March 2026, and then we'll consider and adopt a committee program for the next term. And I must say the committee program may change because we have not received anything from the chair of chairs as yet. That would be, what do they call that, Ms. Boss?
The focus areas, Chair.
Yeah, the focus areas. And then we'll deal with the announcements at the end, and then we close. Can I move for the adoption
Recording
of the
in
agenda?
progress.
Honorable Zungula.
Chair, greetings, colleagues and everyone on the platform. I would like to make an addition to the agenda. There is this increase in fuel prices that is coming up, I think tomorrow. I thought, Chair, if we can just have a moment to reflect as a committee, I'm more than happy if that is included to move for the adoption of the agenda.
I was gonna make some remarks around the fuel issue, but if we wish to add it as an agenda item, it's okay. But I was going to reflect on one, the issue of fuel increase, but secondly, the shortage of fuel in the in garages, filling stations. You get to a fuel station, you want a full tank, you are told, no, we can only give you 30 liters or 40 liters, whatever the case may be, wherever you are. I'm happy to discuss that. Maybe let's adopt the agenda item and the agenda as it is, and then the first reflections around the fuel levy. Are we fine with that, Honorable Zungula?
Yes, fine, Chair. There's no need for an additional item as long as after you make your comments, you give us space to for us to make our own reflections.
Okay. Can I then move for the adoption of the agenda? Honorable Hassan.
Yes, Chair. Happy to move for the adoption of the agenda with how you have now presented it. Thank you.
Honorable Lolo.
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members. I want to support the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, you may have seen that, okay, we have been briefed that there is no crisis in the country about the shortage of fuel. We shouldn't panic. That's the message that we have been consistently given, even in the question and answer session, but also the briefings, statements from the department, as well as SEF, and whenever the department communicates and clarify some of the statements, we are told that the Strait of Hormuz does not affect us because we have reduced consumption from the Gulf countries. We have now around 60% consumption from our very own continent. So it shouldn't be a cause for panic. Secondly, that there is an agreement that the companies that are supplying South Africa, as long as their cargoes are coming to South Africa and they're South African in the sense that they're supplying South Africa, will be given a safe passage by the Strait of Hormuz. We shouldn't panic. But what we see now is, and I don't want to confuse shortage and increase of prices, because if the crude oil in around the globe is over 100 US dollar per barrel, it is true that prices will go up, but it's probably the first time to reach 100. But during COVID, there was a plan that was made by our country, and we should have our country making a plan now to mitigate the price increase. I mean, if you are now buying diesel for 2 rands and it's going up by around 10 rands, it means it will be around 30 something rands. And we know once the prices of fuel rise, the food prices, the essentials, also are affected, and the poor of the poorest bear the brunt of that. The second issue that we are told now is that in the country around 143, and these are news reports, we are not sure whether it's true, 143 fuel stations do not have diesel, and 136 don't have petrol. That is a cause for concern. I have been receiving messages from some people from KZN complaining to me that they understand that diesel is not regulated, but is it a fair practice that one petrol station would sell you a liter today at 22 rands, and when you go back tomorrow, it's 30 rands a liter? Understanding the unregulated space of diesel, but is that a fair practice? And I asked them to give me a specific fuel station that is practicing in that manner in the era where our country is facing these difficulties. I'll leave it there, honorable members, for us to reflect on it and perhaps take a decision if we need to take a decision on what must be the reaction of the committee. Can I see any hand that wants to make a reflection on it? Let's not speak endlessly, honorable members. Let's stick to the points and then we're led to some form of a way forward. Honorable Zungula. Any other hand? Honorable Mplangwini. Honorable Hassan. In that order, Honorable Zungula.
Thank you, Chair. We appreciate I think the brief you've just given us. For me, it's two things that we need to try and separate. The first one, it is the use of it's these service stations basically holding fuel, I think, for the purposes of only selling to people on the first after the increase because their margins are going to be high. I think it's the one thing that needs to be addressed. And the second, in linked to that, it is the issue of the fear of South Africans to say, do we have enough fuel stock to last us, given what is happening in Iran? So I think if the committee were to find a way to engage on an urgent basis with the department to try and ascertain where are we on that, so that there is some confidence that is given to the people, because I think once there is rumors flying around or perceptions flying around, people are going to panic buy, and once they panic buy, then we are going to see what's happening. So I think if there's some form of assurance, which we as a committee we can hold the department accountable on that particular aspect, I think we are going to be in a much better position. The second issue is that the issue of the prices, particularly the issue of the fuel levies. I think in 2022, when there was a conflict between Ukraine and Russia, the fuel levies were lowered to protect consumers from what was happening there. Now, I think there needs to be some form of discussion regarding that, because to have fuel increasing the manner in which it's going to increase from tomorrow, it's not only going to affect the ability of people to actually buy fuel firstly, but you may find a ripple effect in terms of increase in food prices and increase in the prices of other goods. So I think it's very important that maybe the committee needs to, even if we engage the department, engage Treasury to see what relief can be given to the consumers in this aspect. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Zungula. I'm noticing that I kept saying during COVID and not qualify that with the breaking of the war in Ukraine and Russia, which was during COVID. I think I must qualify that point. And Honorable Zungula, another point that I may add from what I said is that we are told that you are raising a good point, that is there a shortage or not? Because now we're told that there's a shortage of trucks to move fuel. I'm not sure whether that is the case, but it would be very good for the department to also give us comfort and brief the society whether that is true or not. Honorable Ntlangwini.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to agree with the proposal set by the Honorable Zungola. And maybe perhaps, Chair, we must write a letter to the department with all of these points that was raised, because it have been coming quite concerning that already so much one petrol stations don't have fuel, and it can be attributed to people stockpiling fuel for later selling it on a high price. So maybe perhaps we should, as a committee, write maybe perhaps a letter to the department and seeking clarity to all of those aspects that we are raising, because it's not likely gonna happen. It is gonna happen that once the fuel price goes up, the food prices as well will be affected. So in a country where our economy and our people are already struggling, my apology, are already struggling, this can't persist, and we ought to do something as a committee and engaging the department and find ways and means that to see that that the petrol price doesn't get increased in such an high amount of money. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Nhlangwini. Honorable Hassan.
Thanks. Thanks very much, Chairperson. I'm appreciating members who have raised the issue as well. I think it's a concern we've all had front and foremost, and we've been also trying to be patient with the department, but it is most certainly something that we cannot be patient about when people are quite confused, but also where there is room for us to alter things. So I'm going to start with the first thing on the situation, right? So we've been assured that the supply chains are open, and I think it's difficult for us to question the supply chain coming from Africa, and we understand the Strait of Hormuz, right? But there's 2 points, Chair. The first is that given our lack of refining capacity, everything is being imported, and it's being imported by the private sector, right? That's the first point. We need to understand, and we need to get a proper briefing from the department, a specific meeting I'm suggesting, or in writing, maybe both, in which they brief us. And it can even be a closed door session if we want, which I don't think. I think it should be public for people to see, which will bring me to my second point in a moment. But they need to give us some reassurances and understanding that the private sector players, who are actually the biggest players in the country in bringing in fuel, refining it, etc., actually do have it in the supply chain, and it is in fact not a supply issue. The second point related to this, Chair, and I think Honorable Zugula touched on it, and I said this to you last week as well. You know, the problem with a lack of communication, I'm not disagreeing with the fact that the department's released a statement and SIF, but you actually need to treat this like a crisis in some ways, right? Now, we're not saying, I know Minister says don't panic. We're not panicking. What we need to do is inform the public regularly. So you need SIF and Minister and Co. to do a press statement and a press briefing in which they say, these are the facts, this is where we are, this is where we're going. Because what we are now seeing right now in the headlines on the news is a result of human behavior. So even if the supply chains are open, even if we have enough in stock, which is what I'm reading and researching right now, that the depots are full, like there isn't a problem of fuel there. But because people don't know what's going on and they are afraid of the price increase, they're afraid that they won't have fuel, etc., whether they are a household consumer who's on the way to work, whether they are a taxi driver or a taxi boss, whether they are in the agricultural business for their machinery, people are afraid and they don't know what's happening. And as a result, they're now going to fill up every piece of equipment, every car, every taxi, etc., because they don't know what's happening. And what that has done is created an artificial supply problem. And that's why I'm saying using the word artificial. And that's also precisely because they don't know what's happening. And I want us to be very harsh and very particular on the department to say they need to do more to bring people on the journey, because it doesn't matter that in reality there isn't a problem. What matters is human behavior that is now creating a problem. And I think we need to be very clear on that. And then the second point, Chair, on the prices, the third point. Now, we understand that this is a global problem, an international one, but there are a number of interventions that we can put in place that I think we need to push for. The first is that a staggered increase. So instead of increasing diesel by 10 Rand or 7 Rand or whatever the case may be now, you don't do it immediately. You do it, you don't look at it once a month, you look at it every 2 weeks. You say, okay, this is the 2-week price, this is the next 2 weeks. Because the price of crude oil is fluctuating so quickly based on factors we may not be able to control, but we can actually adapt faster. So even if the price increase is going to be horrific in the next 24 hours, let's relook at it in 2 weeks' time. Let's push SEF to do that so that maybe we can bring it down by a Rand or two. Now, I know this will create some challenges, but what it does do is A, it manages the problem a little bit better. B, it creates a staggered approach. And C, it shows that you have a government in a SEF that is very responsive to what people are going through. And of course, it can then therefore manage the cost of living crisis that's about to get much worse, particularly for the working class, particularly for the poor. Thanks, Chair. Those are my suggestions.
Thank you. Honorable Slepen.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Chairperson, honorable members, and colleagues on the platform. Thank you very much, Chairperson. No, Chair, let me start by also supporting the statement made by Honorable Zorola. Chairperson, last week is unfortunately I was not in the house. I did write the question to the minister with regarding the very same issue, and that minister, with the resilience of the imported of this crude oil refinery, and then with the issues with Iran and America, what is the impact that is gonna affect us as a country? I unfortunately I couldn't hear the response from the minister with regards to this challenge. But Chairperson, if you can recall, Friday is the Easter holiday. Almost everyone in the country going to the different churches according to their religious beliefs. If indeed tomorrow, because tomorrow in the midnight today, it's where the prices will change. It's going to affect everyone in the country. Chairperson, this is uncalled for. I think if something can happen, if that they can be an urgent meeting to check if as a country we cannot be caught flat-footed with regarding the issues like this, as the country that we are aware with the geopolitics that has been happening. There's been a war ongoing between Russia and Ukraine. We cannot live not preparing should anything happens, and then we need to zoom in their plans. What was their plan in terms of fuel supply? Maybe whosoever was supplying the country with the fuel, and then what is the reserve amount of the diesel petrol that is reserved should anything happen like this? We need to know. They shouldn't take this as an opportunity of increasing prices and benefiting from the crisis that is currently happening. We need now to understand, besides the war that is currently happening, this thing should have been prepared before it even happens. We cannot allow the fuel price to increase with half of what is happening. We cannot allow, Chairperson. I think the urgent meeting can either be virtual or what, but we need to have an urgent meeting that can stop this. Under no circumstance, we cannot allow this to happen, Chairperson. I thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Can we lower our hands? I want to know whether there's another hand. Honorable Tranguni, can you lower your hand? If that's hand, can you go? Okay, thank you. Honorable members, can I make a suggestion emanating from some of the issues you have raised. That we request the minister and the ministry and the department to have a press briefing which will be viewed by all and sundry in the country and address the issues that were raised. We will list them. In their press briefing, they must touch on these issues. It's a request because I think what is important is for the public to be briefed so that we do not have this panic that we're envisaging that is already happening in the country. If they do not do that, we call an urgent meeting and looking at the diary, tomorrow is the 1st. And then Thursday is a day before Good Friday, and obviously Good Friday, and then the weekend. 6th or 7th, we call them to a meeting where we will request Parliament not to stream on YouTube or anywhere, but stream live in the parliamentary channels, and obviously we ourselves invite the media houses to join us live if they have. You can't force them if they have interest in what will be discussed, so that whatever we are ventilating here, if the department does not want to voluntarily give to the public, we extract information that through our different experiences and our experiences and things we hear from other people, we extract the information until the public we are convinced that they now have heard what they needed to hear. But obviously, we don't just need them to inform the public. We need to understand what are they going to do to mitigate on these fuel increases. Is my summary and suggestion in order, honorable members? Can I see hands? Honorable members?
Chair, can I be noted? Honorable Hassan?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify something. You're suggesting on the 5th or the 6th a virtual meeting that is closed door with the media, or a physical meeting that you've described?
I don't think a physical meeting will be possible. So a virtual meeting, but we invite the media and we ask parliamentary TV not to have this delayed platform, but they take it live for our people to follow our engagement with the department on this subject. If from today until over the weekend, the department has not had a press briefing, as we would have written to them and asked them to have a press briefing. Do you get what I was saying?
Yes, I am comfortable to support that approach. Obviously, with putting pressure on both SEF and the department to, prior to that, having their own sort of press briefing in which they really take the country through some of the issues that are necessary. I think that would be a good approach. And then we can make that, and based on that discussion, make it a bit more regular. So we force them into, I would say, a pattern of regularly informing the public. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mani, there are before you come, there are people who have made suggestions. Can you ride on those suggestions so that we don't open another new discussion? But obviously, you can add. But let's confine it to the issues that they have raised and what they want probably the ministry to do. Can you go ahead, please?
Thank you, Chair. First, I must apologize. I joined the meeting late, but I caught your summary. I think I actually agree with your summary. I'm hoping it encapsulates the points that have been discussed before I joined. The only point I wanted to make, I think, given the gravity of the situation, this press briefing you talking about, I would really encourage that just to bring it to the necessary urgency and all of that, that it must be physical. It doesn't have to be in Cape Town, it can be anywhere, it can be in Joburg where most people are and all of that. But I think if it had to be a physical meeting and members of the committee are also there in that meeting, I think it will bring the necessary urgency that is required. So that's my submission, Chair. Thank you.
So, Honorable Mani, there are two suggestions. I just want you to get it clear. So we are saying urgently, the minister must communicate with the public via not a press statement. They've been doing that, but the confusion is still continuing. Through a press briefing, which will be live, because the media also has interest in that. If they don't do that, we will write a letter after this meeting for them to find a date where they have a press briefing urgently, like other departments do when there is a crisis. Alternatively, if we see that they have not had this press briefing to inform the public, we call an urgent meeting with the department, which we will ask the parliamentary services to make it live, not delayed broadcast and so forth, but also ourselves invite the media to be to live stream the meeting. Unfortunately, I don't think by the 6th, the 7th, we can make it to Cape Town due to the travel issues that would be going up and down from churches and all of that. And ourselves, some of us having workshops with the new presidency committee around that time and Honorable Mani.
Thank you, Chair. No, Chair. I actually don't think these are two separate suggestions. I think it's the same suggestion with a plan B. You are saying this is what we do. We are saying, firstly, we allow the department an opportunity to do a press briefing, failing which we do our own, so to speak. No, the point I was coming in is on our own to say if they fail to do, because we wanted them to do it live, there must be a reason why I wanted them to do live. For the same reason that wanted to do them live, we must also do ours live. That's really the point I'm making. I think the live that we are emphasizing for them is very important. It is very crucial. And I can't see how is it less crucial for us. This issue, I'm sure members would have said this even before I joined, is actually a national crisis that we've got into. It's a serious crisis, this Chair. What's going to happen to the taxi fares, what's going to happen to the bus fares, what's going to happen to the food price. It's worth stopping everything, Chairperson, if I must appeal to this committee, to show the urgency and the seriousness of this thing, that nothing should be deemed to be too important to stop us from just stopping everything and then saying, as this committee, we're having a press conference. I think that will send a very clear message that this committee is leading in Parliament in terms of public interest I really would appeal the chair that churches, I'm sure, they will also understand that this is very important, as it were, and all other commitments. Everybody will be affected by this, chairperson. If you were to miss a church because you are in a press conference of this nature, I'm sure the bishop will understand, etc. Chair. So let me submarine, chair, but I really think that let's use the same standard. You say the minister must do it live, so should we. Otherwise, then you must then say the minister must do what you are saying we must do. So I'm just saying, let's just treat it equally. Thank you.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Honorable Mani, the only statement you make that is not in line with my summary or my suggestion is the committee's press briefing. I'm not suggesting a press briefing from the committee. I am saying when we call the minister to account to us, we make that live. We will be able to extract the information that is needed by the public and beyond what probably his press briefing may have given to people. But we make I know our portfolio committees are always live, but given the public interest, we ask Parliament to make it live, not delayed broadcast, and we also ourselves through Mr. Mulafo, who is supporting us with communication, to invite the media houses to carry it live if they deem it to be in their public interest. So we're saying there's no way the minister can run away from speaking to the public. If he doesn't want to speak to the public through a press briefing, we will make him speak through a portfolio committee that is urgent. Honorable, I saw your hand. I think you were indicating that you are fine. I'll then go to Honorable Slep.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think I second the suggestion made by Honorable Hassan. Chair, I think it's important with this kind of urgent matter, the physical meeting. I do second that one, Chairperson. I know myself, I've already organized everything, paid even the accommodation from where I'm going to the church. But with this matter, Chairperson, our society will be waiting to hear from us. The minister, Chairperson, I don't think they will echo what the committee will do in favor of the affected community. Yes, minister would say things, but there would be things that they are doing the filter, that is his department, that perhaps it might be failing, or his entities that will be failing in the process. But we as a committee will say everything as it is, because all we need is accountability, and we want to drill into the critical issues. I saw, Chairperson, support the view of the physically. We are working, we are public representatives, Chairperson. If the kind of situation arises, we need to up and running, Chairperson. I know maybe one might be not of a good suggestion, but Chairperson, I think I do second that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Slepo, Honorable Zungula. And
Thank you,
honorable members, let's quickly wrap it up so that we'll go to other items. Honorable Zungula.
Thank you, Chair. I was going to agree with you to say the increase is happening tomorrow. The panic people are having now, where they're turned away from service stations, is happening now. The committee must communicate as soon as we are done with this meeting to the department to request them to take the nation into their confidence about everything, and it needs to happen as soon as possible, because Friday, in fact, from Thursday, people are going to be traveling for Easter. Therefore, if it happens tomorrow, It would help us a great deal. Now, next week, if not, let's say Friday or any time, we then have a meeting with the department to hear their plans and oversee how adequate their plans are to respond to this crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Zungula. Honorable Hassan, your hand is up as well.
No, thanks, Chair. I think Honorable Zungula has covered me. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's immediately after this meeting communicate with the department, and we may perhaps mandate you as chairperson of the portfolio committee to speak to the minister as well. You can decide how best as chair to manage that, and then we take it from there. Let's also be honest on a few points. Given the renovations in Parliament, sometimes we think a physical meeting is the most accessible. Often it is not, because if you don't get the right venue, don't get the right people, and then you don't actually get a proper live stream with the sound and all the challenges that have been happening. I found that virtual meetings actually get larger reach in the country, A, because they are literally live, B, because you don't have those challenges on the renovations and the technicalities, and C, it allows all members, not only members, but even media people who are not going to be in Cape Town to be able to attend this thing. So I'm just saying, let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's see what is said. Perhaps they will deal with it in the next 48 hours, and then we can have another discussion about how we manage it. But let's focus on what's before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Hassan. Honorable members, let's summarize it that way. We will appeal to the department to communicate through a press briefing, not a press statement. And then we will take it from there. So over the weekend, Ms. Boss will be communicating with us if they have not done the press briefing. And if it has not happened, we will have to demonstrate to the country that we are serious about it. We will have to be physical in Cape Town. Thank you very much, honorable members. Let's park that point. And can I check Ms. Nonhlanhla Ndebele, before we communicate ourselves, is it possible to be communicating with the DG as we speak now, that we intend to do what we said we will do, and the letter will follow? Is it possible for you to do that?
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members. I will try my best to make sure that the DG is made aware of the committee discussions and concerns that requires agent attention. However, there is the investment conference where most ministers are, and the DG is also there. They've got limited access to cell phones and things, but the message will be conveyed to the DG before end of business.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable members, there you have it. We will hope that the message gets to the minister and the DG before we write a letter, but the letter will definitely be written. We discussed this issue before we took apologies for obvious reasons raised by Honorable Zungula. Can we take apologies?
Good morning, Honorable
Ms. Boss.
Chair. Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members and guests in the platform. I've got an apology from Honorable Mhlongo, Chair. She's still not well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boss. That is one apology. And honorable members, in your personal capacity, you would agree with me that this committee has made it a point that across political parties, we become a family. So in your spare time, if we can try and speak to Honorable Congo, either whether through messages of support or phone calls, and wish her well to recover very soon and come back to us. That's just as Ubuntu. We are taught like that in our different families, and I would expect us as a family of this Petroleum community to continue with that way. Ms. Boss, can we have the report of the oversight in the Eastern Cape and Natal?
Okay, Chair, I'll request Shudu to flight for me and then I'll go through. Chair, you will guide us of how we go through. We'll go the normal way of going to observations and recommendations since the members have received the report before, or what is the way forward? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, let's stick to how we do it. We go to observations and recommendations and take the body as read.
Okay, number 4, Shudu. Thank you, Chair. I'll just go through the committee observations. Okay, this section provides a synopsis of the key issues observed by the committee, particularly emanating from the presentations, discussions, and the site visit. The committee makes the following observations. 1, with regards to Quadro scheme and junior miners, the committee observed that the Richards Bay Coal Terminal, in collaboration with Transnet, plays a critical role in South Africa's coal export value chain and has implemented notable infrastructure and operational improvements to enhance efficiency. However, rail constraints and broader logistic challenges continue to limit optimal export capacity. The committee further noted that despite the intentions of the Quadro scheme to support junior miners, significant barriers remain, including limited access to loading sites, constraints export allocations, and restricted market market access. These challenges undermine the sustainability and growth of junior miners, despite their demonstrated ability to meet allocated volumes. 2, with regards to legal sand mining, illegal sand mining and enforcement failures. The prevalence of illegal sand mining in both the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal reflects serious weaknesses in regulatory enforcement. The continued extraction of sand without regulation is causing significant environmental degradation, safety risk, and loss of state revenue. The venue where we visited in KZN and the Valley of 100 Hills and Sand Mining, the committee observed that illegal sand mining in the Valley of the 1,000 Hills poses serious safety, environmental, and socio-economic risk. Mining occurs predominantly at night, resulting in land degradation, hazardous conditions, and threats to public safety, particularly near roads used by school children. Capacity constraints within the MPR. The committee noted severe capacity constraints within regional offices, where staffing levels have declined significantly. These constraints negatively affect licensing processing, compliance monitoring, enforcement of MPRDA, oversight of social and labor plans, that is SLPs. The current capacity limitations are inconsistent with government's stated objective of promoting investment and economic growth in the mining sector. Then licensing and regulatory challenges. The licensing system remains complex, fragmented, and slow, with insufficient coordination between departments such as DMPR, COCTA, the LRRD. Chair, I see the hand of Honorable Mani. I'm not sure whether he wants to comment at all, or should I continue?
Honorable Mani?
Yeah, no, Chair, I was just wondering, because these presentations, this everything, all the package, to be quite fair to the team, they've been circulated timelessly. I'm not so sure why we're reading them like this here. I thought what you were saying we should do, like we always do, is to say, well, here are the observations or here are the recommendations. Anybody on recommendations, and then if anybody has got an issue, a person must say so. I don't think it's effective. I don't think it's proper what we're doing now to read something that has been circulated so much time in advance. It defeats the whole purpose of our team submitting things timelessly, Chair.
No, Honorable Mani, I get your point. Let's just be patient with this process, because even the wording will reflect us at the end to have been fair to everybody when it comes to recommendations, because these recommendations, if you remember last week or 2 weeks ago, we will send them to relevant departments for action. So I think it's only fair that as much as we will assume that everybody has read, let's, when we come to observations and decisions or recommendations, we do it this way. Unless there's consensus in what Honorable Mani is suggesting from other members. Can I check what is the feeling of the House? Honorable members, do you want us to, Honorable Lolo?
Honorable Chair, I think I want to propose that we continue the way we've been doing oversight reports. We've been concentrating on observations and recommendations that members add or edit. So I just want to, Chair, propose that we do it that way. Thanks.
Okay, just for fairness, there are two views. Those who are saying we must skip the, just hold on, Honorable Hassan. Let's deal with the two views. Those who are saying that let's do it the way Honorable Mani is suggesting, because it's not a bad suggestion. I'm just afraid that we may lose some of the issues that when we read, we may pick up. Those who are saying we must follow that route where we say, consider everything as read and call for adoption. Can I see by show of hands if you support that? And indicate if your hand can't press or you are unable to press. Okay. Just a moment. I want to see everything. And those who are saying we must read the observations and the recommendations, can I see show of hand? Not in the manner in which Honorable Hassan had done. Here, on the, for record purposes, raise your hand as if you want to speak. I see Honorable Mhlangwini, Honorable Hassan, Honorable Sene. Okay, those are two. Can I see abstentions? Unfortunately, honorable members, you must record what you want us to do. I can't dictate to you. Honorable Slepe, you abstain. Honorable Senne, you voted on the previous. Can you put your hand down? Honorable Slepe, do you abstain?
Yes, Chair.
Honorable Slepe's hand was up, he abstains. Must I assume Honorable Zungula, you abstain? Honorable Mufukeng? Honorable... didn't I see Zondi in the first instance? Must I assume that you abstain, Honorable Zungula and Honorable Mufukeng?
No, Chairperson.
I didn't hear what you were saying. Honorable
my side.
Mufukeng.
Good morning, Chairperson. I'm in
Yes.
favor of the observation and recommendations. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, next time, please raise your hand. Honorable Zungula.
My apologies, Chair. We can read.
Okay, so that adds the 2 to the initial number. I think the majority has it. Can we proceed the way we were proceeding? Thank you very much.
Okay, Chair, I'll go back to licensing and regulatory challenges. The licensing system remains complex, fragmented, and slow, with insufficient coordination between departments such as DMPR, COCTA, and DLRRD. Persistent community disputes, unclear land ownership, and mistrust of mining companies continue to delay approvals. There is misalignment between legislations, particularly the MPRDA, NEMA, and supposedly ILPIRA, which contributes to the regulatory uncertainty. Social and labor plan compliance. The committee observed that SLP compliance remains inconsistent, particularly when mining operations are non-operational or seasonal. Weak monitoring and enforcement mechanisms result in limited socio-economic benefits to host communities. Governance challenges within community trust, including those associated with mining operations, remain a concern. Energy security and strategic infrastructure risks. The committee notes that infrastructure such as the Subpref refinery and the Island View precinct is critical to national energy security. Over-reliance on the Island View precincts creates a single point of failure risk in the fuel supply chain. The refinery reinstatement program presents an opportunity to enhance local refining capacity, reduce import dependence, and strengthen energy security. Petro SA financial and legal exposure. Petro SA remains under significant financial distress, with high levels of historical debt and ongoing operational losses. The ongoing dispute with the South African Revenue Services present material financial risks, including potential liabilities, delays in recovering overpayments, regulatory uncertainty. The possible delicensing of the Mossel Bay facility raises concern about long-term operational sustainability. Then Chair number 5, coming to committee recommendations. Having conducted the oversight visit, the Portfolio Committee on Mineral and Petroleum Resources recommends that the House request the Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources to do the following. 5.1. In collaboration with relevant institutions, strengthen governance and accountability in mining trusts by enforcing monetary transparency measures, including regular public disclosure of audited financial statements and project reports. 2. Expand support for small-scale and artisanal mining through improved access to permits, environmental authorizations, and technical assistance, while ensuring that licenses requirements do not exclude historically disadvantaged South Africans, that is HDSA. The Minister urgently verified the legal status of mining operations at Lloyd Briggs, including compliance with the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act, and submit progress report to the committee by the first quarter of the 2026-27 financial year. Number 4, ensure that regional offices are adequately capacitated to perform their functions effectively and submit an update of human capacity across provinces by the third quarter of the 2026-27 financial year. The department will brief the committee on the Quattro allocation scheme in the third quarter of the 2026-27 financial year. The briefing to include a possible review and potential increase of export allocation under the Quattro scheme to support the sustainability of junior miners, including improving access to loading sites, co-loading arrangement, and market access opportunities. 6, in collaboration with law enforcement agency, SAPS and local municipalities take urgent and decisive action to address illegal sand mining. This should include strengthened monitoring, enforcement of compliance, and prosecution of offenders. 5.7, prioritize the alignment of relevant legislation, including the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act, the National Environmental Management Act, and the Interim Protection of Informal Lands Rights Act to reduce regulatory fragmentation, eliminate contradictions that delay licensing process, and provide greater certainty to investors and communities. A comprehensive legislative review report should be submitted to the committee by the second quarter of 2026-27 financial year. In collaboration with the National Treasury and the Central Energy Fund, develop and present to the committee a credible financial restructuring plan for Petro SA, which must include a definitive resolution strategy for outstanding SARS disputes, a structured approach to settling historical debt, and measure to safeguard the Mossel Bay virtual mine license. The plan must clearly articulate to fiscal risk to the state and identify mechanisms to prevent further accumulation of liabilities. This report should be submitted to the committee by the first quarter of the 2026-27 financial year. 9, develop and present to the committee a phase reinstatement roadmap to the Sapref refinery, inclusive of defined milestones, timelines, funding mechanisms, and environmental liability mitigation measures. Given the strategic importance of the refinery to South African energy security and the potential to reduce import dependency, the roadmap must also include an assessment of the refinery's feasibility to scale to 400,000 barrels per day, as indicated in the feasibility study, and specify the associated regulatory and capital requirements. This roadmap should be submitted to the committee by the second quarter of 2026-2027 financial year. 10, facilitate within the bounds of applicable legislation and in line with the Minister's coordination mandate, the establishment of a formal and permanent intergovernmental coordination mechanism involving the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development to streamline community consultation process, resolve land ownership disputes that impede licensing, and improve integration of departmental systems. The mechanism must include clear timelines for resolving disputes and a reporting framework to the committee. A progress report on this establishment should be submitted to the committee by the second quarter of the 2026 and 27 financial year. A report to be considered. That was the last recommendation, Chair, as tabled in front of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boss. Honorable members, that's the report. Any take on the report? I don't see any hands. Honorable Ntlangwini?
Thank you, Chair. No, the report is properly written. I just have on top, I don't see my name as a person that was attending the oversight. Maybe if that one can
Go
just
back to the names, boss. Go to the names now. We resolve it now. It's Mashudu who is scrolling. Slowly.
Apologies, Honorable Tlangwini, we will insert the name. It's just a mistake.
Okay. Are we good with that, Honorable Tlangwini?
Yes, Chair, it was
With the apology.
only point. Yeah, the other points in the recommendations covered.
Thank you. Okay, Honorable Sene.
Thank you, Chairperson. I also want to align myself with Honorable Tlangwini. The report reflects the true reflection of the oversight undertaken by this committee, and I would like to propose that, Chair, we adopt the report. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Sene is calling for the adoption of the report. Any seconder? Honorable Slepe.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm raising my hand to second the adoption of this report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Slepe is seconding the adoption of the report. Can you mute, Honorable Slepe? Is there any objection to the adoption of the report? Honorable Hassan.
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to move for the adoption of the report as has been presented. I think it was quite thorough and comprehensive. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Hassan, the report was adopted because, okay, Honorable Sene called for the adoption. It was seconded by Honorable Slepe. I'm now calling for the objection of the report.
My apologies,
the objection.
Chair.
Yeah,
My
any
apologies, I
objection?
retract.
Thank you. Any objection? I'm going 3, 2, 1. Any abstentions? I'm going 3, 2, 1. And I declare the report duly adopted. Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, can we go to the consideration and adoption of the oversight visit to eKapa mine, Ms. Boss?
Okay, Chair, we'll just go the normal way, going to observations, then recommendations. The report was also sent to members prior. Then we're on number 4, committee observations. This section provides a synopsis of key issues observed by the committee, particularly emanating from the presentations, discussion, and site visit. The committee makes the following observations. 1. Mine Rescue Service response. The committee applauded the quick and strong emergency response of the mine rescue services to the mud rush incident and the rescue operation. The committee further welcomed the industry-wide support and confirmation that the Minerals Council has made a commitment to support the eKapa mine rescue operation until all 5 trapped miners are retrieved. However, the committee is critical that this commitment is not formalized and without a budget. 2. Transparency and information sharing. The committee appreciated that the communication efforts by eKapa mine has improved to ensure the trapped mine workers, family and affected workers are updated and informed of all developments following the mud rush incident. eKapa workers support. The committee indicated that the trapped mine workers and affected workers require support following the incident, including but not limited to psychological support. Therefore, the committee welcomed the support offered by the eKapa to the workers and the humanitarian relief pledged by the provincial government to all eKapa workers, including the retrenched workers. Uncertainty on the cause of the mud rush. The committee noted the central finding from the Mine Rescue Service, eKapa Mine Management, and the department that there is an inability to determine the source of water despite the presence of technical expertise within the mine. The large amount of water and uncertainty on its origin raised concern about the limitation of the current hydrological conditions of the area and future mine operation. The committee welcomed the collaboration with the Council for Geoscience and efforts towards investigating the source of the water. Next, conditions underground at the time of the incident. Members raised concern about the scheduled work underground just before the incident that may have contributed to any structural instability, including drilling, blasting, or other operational activities that may have triggered or exacerbated the mud rush conditions. Adequacy of risk management. While the mine and the regulator indicated that monitoring system, inspection, and safety processes were in place, the incident exposed a disconnect between compliance-based system and actual risk prevention. The committee raised concern that eKapa incident illustrates that it is not absence of system, but whether those systems are effective in identifying high-impact risks, particularly in environments with known water ingress challenges. Regulatory oversight. The department indicated eKapa mine had 8 previous inspections and was issued with Section 54 and Section 55 directives. The committee questioned whether eKapa implemented the conditions of the directives and the effectiveness of the inspectorate's enforcement measures. Members raised concern on whether the department adequately performed its oversight function and whether eKapa adequately addressed risks. Worker safety for mines under financial distress. eKapa indicated it has been in financial distress for a number of years, and organized labor raised concern of whether this has compromised workers' safety. NOMSA indicated that eKapa had implemented cost-cutting, layoffs, and was operating under financial strain, and questioned whether this may have indirectly weakened safety conditions. These concerns were noted and echoed by the committee as serious and requires an intervention. Liquidation implications. The committee raised serious concern on the timing of the liquidation application within the context of the mud rush incident and rescue operations. Members raised concern on whether rescue operations will continue, whether liquidation may be used as a shield against financial and legal obligations, and the impact of the liquidation on worker benefits, compensation, and job security. The committee further highlighted the economic contribution of the mine and the need to ensure the protection of workers, continuity of critical operations, and accountability of the incident. As a result, the committee resolved to look into whether an interbid was a viable option to the liquidation proceedings. Labor issues at eKapa mine. The committee welcomed the presentation of the organized labor as it illustrated key issues of vulnerable worker protection and labor rights violations. The committee noted that the unpaid layoffs, lack of UIF access, retrenchments, and limited consultation required an urgent intervention. The committee also noted that there is a breakdown of trust between the mine and the organized labor. Legacy and historical risk in mining operations. The committee made reference to the previous incident of historical workings and geological conditions which enable inherited risk from past mining practices and present accountability challenges when operations change ownership. eKapa mine was previously owned by Petra Diamonds and historically De Beers, raising concern about adequacy of due diligence, knowledge transfer, and long-term risk management across successive operators. Those were the observations. Chair. Number 5 will go to recommendations. Having conducted the oversight visit, the Portfolio Committee of Mineral and Petroleum Resources recommends that the House request the Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources to do the following. 1. Ensure that an independent multidisciplinary investigation into the eKapa mine incident is conducted, involving the Council for Geoscience to determine the source of the water and the underlying causes of the mud rush. 2. The Minister to conduct a full compliance audit of eKapa mine focusing on the implementation of Section 54 and Section 55 directives, as well as findings from previous inspection and enforcement action taken by the Inspectorate. The audit must determine whether regulatory oversight was adequate and whether any lapses contributed to the incident. Where necessary, appropriate disciplinary or corrective action should be taken. 3. To develop a framework for enhanced regulatory oversight of financially distressed mine, recognizing the high threat risk to worker safety. 4. In collaboration with relevant departments, ensure that eKapa mine pays workers unpaid salaries, enables UIF access, and that the pension and benefits are protected during liquidation process. 5. Ensure that the organized labor of eKapa and eKapa mine management work towards resolving the September 2025 temporary employer/employee relief scheme, which is TEFS application. 6. Ensure that rescue and recovery operation at eKapa continue without interruption until all 5 trapped miners are recovered, and ensure the operations are conducted safely and effectively. Chair, you will notice that some of the recommendations was then, and now there's a new thing. Maybe we'll discuss it further. I also see Honorable Slepe's hand, Chair, before I proceed to 5.7.
Honorable Slepe.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, there on 5.6, I don't know whether or we can amend it any elsewhere, but where it says ensure that the rescue and recovery operation at the eKapa continue without interruption until the okay. I just want to add something, Chair. There's an act that was passed.
Can you
On
hold on, Honorable Slepe? Let her finish, and then we'll come back to that point.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
All right, continue, Ms. Boss.
5.7. The Minister must ensure that the commitment by the Minerals Council of South Africa to support eKapa mine until all trapped miners are recovered is formalized, including a clear budget. The Minister should initiate a review of Section 11, that is transfer of mining rights, processes with a specific focus on due diligence, requirements for new operators, disclosure of historical risk, and mandatory transfer of technical knowledge and risk data. This is to address risks associated with legacy geological and operational conditions inherited by new operators. A report to be considered. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Boss. Honorable members, there is the report. I will start with Honorable Slepe, and then I will see the hands that would want to speak. Can you just raise, and then after Honorable Slepe, I will note the hands. Honorable Slepe?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Yeah, as I was saying, Chair, under the recommendation, I don't know whether we can edit somewhere here that there's the act that was passed 2023 of missing person locator. I think it's important that the minister should push his department to implement the missing person locator to all the mining operations, so that when such thing happen, it's easy for the mining to be able to locate those missing bodies through this system that has been implemented, but has been recommended and passed, but is not implemented. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Slepe, actually, point taken. We will request Mashudu, Sivu, and Ayanda to coin it correctly, but the point is taken and it will form part of the 5.9 of the report. Is that okay with you?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Mufukeng.
Thank you,
Followed by
Chairperson.
Honorable. Okay, so it's going to be Honorable Mufukeng, followed by Honorable Hassan, Honorable Ntlangwini, and Honorable Senne. In that order, can you proceed, Honorable Mfugeng?
Thank you, Chairperson, and greetings to honorable members and everyone on the platform. Let me also, Chairperson, start by saying the report is a true reflection of what transpired during the oversight visit to eKapa mine, and I would like to propose two additional recommendations on the report. Number one, Chairperson, is that the minister must commission a review of the legal and regulatory framework governing liability for geological and operational risk inherited through successive ownership transfers in the mining sector. And the review must consider amendments to ensure that historical operators, including but not limited to Petra Diamonds and DBS, remain accountable to risk arising from conditions created during their periods of operation at eKapa mine, and must propose mechanisms for enforceable historical liability disclosures, such as a prerequisite for Section 11 approvals. The second one, Chairperson, direct the department in collaboration with the Council of Geoscience to conduct a national hydrogeological risk assessment.
Can you hold on? Can you hold on? Honorable members, we had the gist of the first one, which Honorable Mfugeng will submit as coined. Is there any dissenting view on that to be added? You can just shout if there is a dissenting view. Okay, no dissenting view. Can you proceed to the second one?
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. The second one is that direct the department in collaboration with the Council of Geoscience to conduct a national hydrogeological risk assessment of all underground mines operating in geological conditions comparable to those at eKapa mine, with particular focus on operations with known water ingress.
Honorable Mfugeng, I lost you. Honorable members, can you indicate, is it only me or everybody?
We lost her.
Everybody.
Okay, Honorable Mfugeng, because it's a sentence that must be understood by everybody. Can you start afresh?
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. I'm saying, Chairperson, my second recommendation is that direct the department in collaboration with the Council for Geoscience to conduct a national hydrogeological risk assessment for all underground mines operating in geological conditions comparable to those at eKapa mine, with particular focus on operations with known water ingress vulnerabilities. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, is there anyone who opposes that we add the sentence, the second proposal? None. Thank you. Honorable Hassan.
Thanks very much, Chairperson. And let me also appreciate the report and also the team and yourself for getting us to eKapa mine, given the challenges that have been faced in that area. And I think the situation being actually worse than we thought. Prior to this, I just have a few additions I'd like to add into the recommendations. I will submit in writing, but I'll just verbally say them here. In terms of there's an ongoing investigation that's going to be conducted, right? The first is that investigation needs to be independent. And I'm suggesting that as the committee, we need to recommend that there's proper consequence management subsequent to those investigations. Between the department and the Mine Health and Safety Council, they need to ensure a thorough and independent investigation, as I've mentioned, into this mud rush incident. But what is very important, Chair, and I think Minister mentioned it informally last week's meeting, that should the investigation establish that the mine was at fault due to some form of negligence, The committee ought to recommend that the minister opens a criminal case against eKapa Mine and its responsible officials, including that of the CEO, who was not even in the meeting when we came. We are quite concerned about how there's been the running, particularly of eKapa Mine. One can get later on into the liquidation and all of that. But I think it's important that we send a very strong message that there will be consequence management. And if we have found negligence, people will be held personally liable because they're running away from accountability. They're liquidating and they're saying this is no longer our problem, especially given those timelines. So it's just really about, I'll submit in writing. I didn't even write it on the chat, but really it's around consequence management. I have 3 recommendations, Chair. I'll wait to go to the next one.
Okay, the first one, do you have the exact writing on it?
Yes. Should I post it in the chat?
Yes. Don't
I'll
post
do
it,
that.
read it. Read
Okay.
it.
I'm going to read it word for word. In
Yes.
this regard to the ongoing investigations, the committee recommends, in this regard to the ongoing investigations, the committee
No,
recommends,
no, read it. You will
okay,
submit
that's fine,
if
that's
we
fine.
agree. We'll listen attentively.
Okay, the department and the Mine Health and Safety Council must ensure that a thorough and independent investigation into the eKapa mud rush incident is conducted. Should the investigation establish that the mine was at fault, the committee recommends that the minister must open a criminal case against eKapa mine and its responsible officials.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, is there anyone who opposes that sentence be added to our recommendations? None. Can you proceed to the second one?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me move to the second. This is around, okay, I'm just going to read it for the sake of time. The committee recommends that the department must develop and implement a mandatory escalated oversight protocol applicable to all mines that have been issued with the Section 54 and or Section 55 directives and any formal warnings in terms of the Mine Health and Safety Act. And the committee recommends that where a mine has been issued with repeated or unresolved directives, the department must escalate oversight further through dedicated monitoring mechanisms until full compliance is demonstrated and verified. Chairperson, just for quick context, this mine, eKapa mine, was in the past issued with a Section 54 and I believe a 55. And we do need to do a lot more oversight, almost doing micromanaging of mines in this kind of category to prevent a crisis in the future.
Okay, honorable members, is there anyone who opposes the addition of the recommendation? None. Thank you. Was that the last or you have
Yes, Chair,
another one?
at this stage I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Ntangweni?
Thank you, Chair. No, Chair, I'm covered by the Honorable Hassan and Honorable Selepe. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Senne?
Thank you, Chairperson. And let me also appreciate the committee secretary and the team for this report. Chair, I think I'm on committee observations. I need to add one on recovery efforts. That as a committee, we note with relief that the remains of all 5 trapped underground mine workers at eKapa have since been retrieved, and that as a committee we wishes to extend our heartfelt condolences to the families, loved ones, and colleagues of the deceased. And Chair, the committee also sincerely commends and all who contributed to the recovery operations for this unwavering dedication and compassion throughout this difficult time. And number 2, Chair, on committee recommendations,
No,
outside.
wait.
Okay.
Honorable members, we are on that observation, not a recommendation. That we observe that the Mine Rescue Services managed to get the 5 bodies out and the show of sympathy from the committee. Is there anyone who is opposed to making that observation? None. Can you go to your recommendation?
Thank you, Chairperson. I would like to add a recommendation, Chair 5.9, that we ensure that a comprehensive psychological support program is provided to the families of the 5 trapped miners, the affected workers, the mine rescue personnel involved in recovering operations at eKapa mine. Chair, I would like to add that one, as it's also important, Chair, for those who are affected to receive psychological support. Thank you, Chairperson. 5.9.
Okay, except that we will replace the word trapped with deceased, because you have just made an observation that they have been brought to the surface. They are no longer trapped now. Are we agreeing, honorable members, with that? Any person who disagrees with that? None. Can you lower your hand, Honorable Sene, if you are done, or you have another one?
No, I'm done, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable members, those are the additions both on the observations and recommendations. I now ask the question, can I have a mover for the adoption of the report as amended? Honorable Hassan.
Thank you, Chairperson. As you've indicated with the amendments, I'm happy to move for the adoption. Thank you.
Honorable members, Honorable Hassan moves for the adoption of the report. Can I have an honorable member who moves to second Honorable Hassan? Honorable Mufukeng.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm seconding the adoption of the report. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mufukeng has seconded the report. Any objection to the report, to the adoption of the report? Honorable Mufukeng, put your hand down. Is there any objection? None. Is there anyone who's abstaining? None. Honorable members, the report is duly adopted. Thank you very much. Honorable members, we will now move to the consideration and adoption of the minutes of the 24th of February 2026. We received a briefing from the department on the implementations of the 2025 BRRR.
Sorry, Chair,
Yes.
apologies. That is 24 March. Can I flag 24 February first?
Okay, let me open also from my side so that I follow. So we received an update by the NAT joint and the intelligence structure on progress made regarding implementation of the 6th administration recommendations on illegal mining, including update on recent incidents of illegal mining. Those are the people who were present in the meeting. If your name does not appear and you were there, please indicate. I will take the minutes as read. Is there any other issue that any honorable member want to raise? I'm looking at the hands. No hand. Can I look for the adoption of the minutes? Honorable members who were present, I'm asking a question. Honorable Sene.
Thank you, Chairperson. I would like to move for the adoption of the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Sene moves for the adoption of the minutes. Any seconder? I see the hand of Honorable Hassan.
Yes, Chair, I'm happy to second. Thank you.
Honorable Hassan seconds the adoption of the minute. Any objection to the adoption of the minute? Honorable Sene, can you put your hand down? I see no hand objecting. The minutes are duly adopted. Can we go to the minutes of is it the 17th of March 2026?
Yes, Chair, it's the 17th.
Where we considered and adopt the terms of reference for Alesco investigation, and we adopted the minutes. Can we see the register? I see Honorable Mahlaule, Honorable Hassan, Honorable Mfukeng, Sene, Zondi, Selepe, Mani, Ntlangweni, Sungula, and then there was an apology from Honorable Lorima and Mhlongo. And the committee staff were there except Miss Letitia Titus, who had a bereavement. Can I take the minutes as read and look for the adoption? I thought you'll be, when I'm doing this, you won't stop opening for members' transparency on your side. Ms. Boss?
Yes, Chair.
I thought when I'm opening and reading the essentials of the minutes, you'll also open for members to see on the screen. Honorable members, I take them as read. Is there any issue on the minutes? Can I look, Honorable Hassan?
No issues there, but I think I'm anticipating your next question. I don't know if you'll allow me to move for the adoption yet, or if you want to go through procedurally the other way.
I will ask for the adoption of the minutes. Honorable Hassan?
I'm happy to move to the adoption of this set of minutes as a true reflection of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder? Honorable members, only Honorable Lorima and Honorable Ntlongo were not in the meeting. Honorable Mufuke?
Thank you, Chairperson. I second adoption of the minutes. Thank you.
Honorable Mufukeng seconds the adoption of the minute. Any objection? None. The minutes of the 24th of March are duly adopted. 17th of March are duly adopted. We move to the 24th of March. We received a briefing from the department on the implementation of the 2025 BRRR recommendations and recommendations contained in the oversight report arising from the Northern Cape visit. And we considered and adopt the oversight report to the Eastern Cape.
Sorry, Chair, that was the agenda, but we deferred them, the reports and the minutes.
Yeah, I can tell that. Okay, we were supposed to, because it must reflect. So how must we put this item in the minutes?
It's reflected down. As I go down, you will see how it is put.
Okay. And present are those members, Mahlaule, Hassan, Mfukeng, Sene, Lorima, Zondi, Mani, Ntlangwini, Apologies from Honorable Silepe, Mhlongo, and Honorable Zungula. And those are the minutes and discussions.
Chairperson, are you still on the platform?
I thought it was my network as well. We can't hear you, Chair.
I think he's out. I'm gonna call him and check what is the problem.
Honorable Hassan, as an interim chair, can I just?
Sorry, Honorable Mani, I was just on the call with the chair. He's been out. He's trying to log in back, but he's saying in the meantime, if he's struggling, can Honorable Hassan continue with this in the meantime? But he's trying to come back.
Okay, thanks very much. Let's give Chair a moment, but in the meanwhile, let's see what set of minutes are we dealing with here? 24 March.
It's last week's minutes.
Perfect. In the meanwhile, Ayanda, you have already presented on this. We were now moving towards the adoption. I see, Honorable Mani, your hand is up. Was that for the previous point you mentioned, or are you going to be comfortable to move for the adoption of these minutes?
Just before the adoption, just the last point on the minutes. I just wanted to just check if they could be. Can you just go to the last point? It's really the one about submissions to be made by the 10th of April. I thought that sentence is correct, but I just thought it should accommodate some of the requests that are already made in the committee, so that we don't. I mean, some of the requests were made in the committee, and requests for submissions in writing were requested, and the department had already agreed to them. I just thought there needs to be a way of accommodating that, so that we don't have a situation where, even though your request from the department must come in writing, that now you have an additional obligation to respect the 10th when already the department has acceded to submitting some of the things in writing.
Let me understand, Honorable Mani, are you saying that we need an additional recommendation that deals with a different timeline, or are you submitting rather that we beef up that last point there? Let me just understand.
The latter, Chair. I'm just saying let's beef up the point just to accommodate the fact that that point talks to, let's say, between now and then, there are other things maybe that you needed. It must be understood. I'm suggesting that it should be understood to mean that anything else, please, by the 10th, submit. But that must not negate the fact that some of the submissions were already made in the discussion.
Okay, I see what you're
Yeah,
suggesting. All right, so may
yeah.
I then suggest it reads all the information requested from the department, fine, should be sent to the committee by 10th April, comma, including the requests from members made during the meeting. I do. Am I right in that? Because it does say all information. So I think you're covered there, but I want you to be comfortable as well.
I'm just saying, Chair, over and above, not including, so that what we don't have. I'm trying to get a situation where we don't do a duplication. Let's say, for instance, the DG in the meeting agreed to respond. There are quite a couple of things that they agreed to respond to in writing. Now, I'm saying, I'm hoping that the capturing of this last point somehow takes that into consideration. So I don't know what the formulation should look like, but to ensure that for the responses in writing that have already even been acceded to, must not now wait for the 10th of April. Those must be assumed that they've been submitted, but the ones by the 10th of April are, if you like, over and above what was discussed in the committee.
Okay, so what I want is, this is why I was asking you if it's a different timeline. I think let's leave that last agenda point, and then we say, including requests already submitted by members. How is that? Because that assumes that there's a different category and those will come through. Because I think it's a matter of semantics. When we say all information, I think it is covered, but we just say including all those requested by members prior or previously. Are we happy with that? Because I don't want us to debate now every specific word when I think that you are covered in this particular point. Okay, Honorable Mani, I'm going to assume you are comfortable given the silence.
Chair, no, I just don't want to extend this into a debate and so on. But I think you are actually you are misunderstanding what I'm saying. If I had to restructure the sentence, I would say when it starts further to the submissions made in the committee, then you can say all other, So if you start with, yeah.
I understand, that's fine. Let's add it to
Yeah.
that. So it's the same point, and then it's further to the submissions already made, comma, all the information requested.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then I think we are comfortable and everybody's captured. Honorable members, can I now move or ask if there is anyone who would like to move for the adoption of the set of minutes? Honorable Mani, I think you can lead us. Given your changes to these minutes, you lead us in adopting.
No, Chair, I leave that to Honorable Mufugeng and Honorable Sin.
Right, can I get any honorable member who wishes to adopt these minutes? Oh, there's Chairperson. Chairperson must
Yes,
have
I'm back.
We've
I'm
just
back.
made one addition. Thank you. Apologies for that. We've just made one addition to the set of minutes to allow for Honorable Mani to feel covered, and that is in this last point. So there are questions that have been put forward, of course, for the 10th of April, but to allow the previous points that had been raised or requests for information, we've added in the first part of the sentence to read further to the submission made to the committee. So the Honorable Mani is comfortable with that. We're now at the adoption section. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Hassan, for holding the fort. I apologize, Honorable members. I'm in a village. Load reduction is a reality where I am, so I was affected by that. Honorable members, can I ask for the mover of the adoption of the minutes? Let me see if I see hands. Honorable Mani.
Yeah, Chair, no, these minutes are a very fair reflection of what transpired in the meeting. So I move for the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Mani. Honorable Mani moved for the adoption of the minutes. Any seconder? Honorable Hassan.
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to second these minutes as has been adopted. Yep.
Thank you, Honorable Hassan. Seconds the adoption of the minutes. Any objections? None. The minutes are duly adopted. Are there any sets of minutes? I'm using a phone now, so I may not see everything. Ms. Boss, any other set of minutes?
No, Chair, that was the last set. Now we are on the program for next term, Chair, the draft program for the committee.
Can you take us through?
Okay, Chair. We drafted this program as colleagues while we are waiting for the focus areas, taking into consideration that we've got the bill in front of us. So from 7th to 20th is the constituency period for members, 20th of April. Then the first meeting, we plan to have it on the 21st of April.
Ms. Boss, can you hold on? Honorable members, can you see anything on your screen, or you see the items on her
Email.
documents? Yeah, email or documents. Can you open that?
Okay, I'll open because I see the program on my side. That's all done?
No, we can't see. Are you winning, Ms. Boss, or anyone else who is? Yes, there.
Okay.
We can see it now. You can proceed.
Okay, on the 21st, Chair, first meeting, we are planning to have a briefing by the department on the SANPAC bill. A reason for putting that, Chair, I know next term we are starting with the budget process, but this will allow us, if we start with the briefing, then we must have allowed the period of advertising to have our inputs by the stakeholders and other people from South Africa. Then we are planning to have that from 9 to 10:30. Then after that, we'll have a meeting with the AG, briefing us on the departments and the budget, on the department strat plans and the budget with all its entities. Then we'll proceed with the department from 12 to 1:30. Then from 1:30, we'll proceed with the entities, which is Mintech, CGS, Mine Health and Safety Council, SDT, and SATPMR. And then Chair will apply for Wednesday, which is not our normal time to meet, to have elect the SEF group and Alexco on their strat plan and budget. And then if things go well, Chair, we want to adopt this report before we conduct our study tour so that we don't pack the work of the committee, which is the 24th of April. That will be on Friday. No, it's I think it's, Friday. Then we are planning to leave for Canada, Chair, on the 25th of April to 2nd of May. Then when we come back, we would like to plan a workshop, a legislative drafting workshop, together with our parliamentary legal services. And then the following day, that day, Chair, it's on Monday, we have to ask for special permission. Reason putting that is that we are limited with days, so we are trying all means so that we can meet our deadlines. Then we plan to have ALESCO investigations for 4 days in Parliament. And then on the 2nd of June, we also planning to adopt our study tour report. Then on Tuesday the 9th, it's a briefing by the department on the quarterly reports, and also with the SEF group, particularly Petro SA and AA, because the focus was more on those two entities together with ALEXCO. And then on the 23rd, the following week, it's a long outstanding matter on the Department of Mineral Resources and also Department of Health and Labor on the ex-mine workers intervention project. And then Chair will go to the constituency period from 29th to the 3rd of August. Chair, just to highlight, in between that constituency, depending how the parliamentary program works, we might apply to deal with our legislation, and also it will depend to the submissions that we receive. In this one is just based on the second program of what we currently have in front of us in Parliament. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. There is a proposed report. Any take? Honorable Mani, Honorable Hassan.
Chair, I'm not opening a debate, but I just want my reservations to be recorded, that this thing of saying department and entities and then having to discuss them in a very limited time, that in my view, it robs the probe that we should do as it were. But as I say, I know we've had this discussion before, but I just want it to be recorded here that I put very strong reservations that an overloaded program and an undersupply of time to interrogate does not make it for holding the executive accountable. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mani. Point noted. Honorable Hassan.
Thanks, Chair. Sorry, it took me a moment to unmute. Just one quick point I want to make. I think generally it is a living document, given that we are also awaiting information from the House Chair, etc. That's duly noted. But I just wanted to make another in principle point. I've heard Ayanda speak to the challenge of deadlines and times, but may I please in principle request that we don't sit meetings on Wednesdays during other portfolio committee times. I know everyone in this committee are members of other portfolio committees that sit on Wednesdays, whether it's health or energy or employment or labor, etc. So if we are to sit outside of our time, it's understandable, but then let's agree it will be Tuesday after the sitting or Wednesday after the sitting. Now, I know that puts additional pressure, but if you're looking at quorum and you're looking at substantive work or quality of work, you're not going to get that Wednesday morning from 9 to 1 because all of us will be in other portfolio committees, which might take precedent because those are the times allocated to them. So I just wanted us to, in principle, agree that if we're calling a meeting on a Wednesday, it must be after the House sitting or it must be during the lunch break or, something like that where it doesn't split members, because otherwise we're going to have a challenge on quorum and we're going to have a challenge on engagement. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Hassan. Do you want to respond before I do?
Yes, Chair. I just wanted to respond on that. There's only one Wednesday that I've put. The reason being because we don't know when is our budget debate is, and the issue of study tour might have an impact if we don't put those meetings there. So it means, for example, if we get so approved, Chair, and then you find out that the budget vote is between April and May, it means the committee wouldn't have finished their work then, and they won't be allowed to go on the study tour. That's why I put the proposal on Wednesday, It's only one Wednesday, that is the 22nd of April. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to also say that this is an exceptional case, and it will always happen when there's all entities and the department called, because we need to process them and adopt them so that we go and debate the budget vote. So you can't put, for instance, it for Friday. We would put it for Friday, but in this case, there is another program that we may need to attend to, which is the study tour and so forth. So pardon us on that. We'll try and look for any other date, but that Wednesday specifically remains the one that we can exploit. And as you see, you will see that it starts at 9 and end at 8 and end at 6. So if we were to do after the sitting, it would mean that's the starting time. The end time there would be the starting. So if we start at 6, it means we are ending at 12 or 1 in the month. So let's allow flexibility a bit on that one so that we get going. It won't be a norm. Honorable Sene, your hand was up. It's down now. Okay, honorable members.
I'm covered, Chairperson. I'm covered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Honorable
Chair.
members. Yes.
So just also to add on, and I've noticed that week is the week of the oversight. So I assume other committees will go on the oversight. Maybe that's why I put that 2nd of April. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, you may have seen that when there are urgent matters that are beyond or can't be planned for, like your eKapa and others, we do make flexibility that the committee must make a plan to attend to those. And that's why it's very important that we don't overpopulate it now. I know it's overpopulated as it is, but I would be comfortable if we leave it like this so that something happens, we're able to juggle around the dates and attend to an emergency. We are a committee that deals with emergencies. We can't run away from that. There will be emergencies here and there that we have to deal with. May I call for any member who wants to adopt the program with the understanding that the focus areas have not been sent to us and it may change? Honorable members, Honorable Hassan.
Yes, Chair, with those, I understand we're under challenges. We'll have to just navigate it when the time comes, especially if other members are on oversight. I'm not sure how we'll do it, but we'll find a way. With that, I'm happy to move for the adoption of a living document that we will revisit as we come and go. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Hassan. Moves for the adoption of the program. Honorable Mani, are you calling for secondment?
On the basis of, like Honorable Asani has qualified living document, I second. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Mani has seconded the adoption of the program. Any objection? None. The program is duly adopted. Next item, Ms. Boss.
Chair, it's the announcement. We are done with the reports and the program. Over to you, Chair.
I want you to place on the screen the 3 options that if they are not far, so that I speak to them and make honorable members understand where we are and where we come from. Are you able to do that? Ms. Boss?
Sorry, Chair, I was talking to myself. I'll flight it now.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Okay, maybe as she looks for it, honorable members, you will recall that I called an urgent virtual meeting. I think it's 2 weeks ago, if not last week. And the meeting was to inform you of the rejection of our trip on the basis of that we have exceeded our budget, which is 3 million. And at that time, our budget was around, our trip was around 4 point something million. And when the speaker asked me to convene a meeting, the committee mandated me to go back and give a report of the meeting to the speaker. Honorable members, we have done everything in our powers now to reduce the expense of the trip. We have asked Honorable Mhlongo if she will indeed go, and she was honest that we must exclude her because her condition does not allow her to go. That's why you see 10 members as the first option to go. So all of us, as you mandated the chairperson to go and deal with that. So if we go to, we go, the first option is 10 members. The second option is 7 MPs. And the breakdown of those MPs, where is it, Ms. Boss?
Sorry, Chair, you mean the breakdown in terms of party?
Of parties and all of that. How do we plan to break down 7 MPs? And if option 3,
it's 2 ANC, 1 DA, 1 MK, 1 EFF. That was when Mamhlongo came, one IFP and 1 ATM. Failing which, because Mamhlongo is no longer going, so I'm not, because it's not written anywhere, then the option should be decided, because 2, if we don't calculate you, it means it will be 2 ANC except you, meaning that 3 ANC, 1 DA, 1 MK, 1 EFF, and 1 ATM chair.
If it's option 1. Let's see the expense of option 1.
Option 2, or option 1, chair, is all members excluding IFP.
Okay, then let's see the expense. So, honorable members, the grand total is 2.7 million if all of us go. Option 2, as Ayanda has outlined, with political parties, and we are 7, it's at 2.1 million. So what it means, how the speaker is arguing is that if we spend 2.7 million on a trip. When we come back, we're left with 300 or less than 300,000, and that will be for the entire term. And she is saying that will not be able to operate. However, my argument is that on the chairperson's meeting, COCTA has already far exceeded 3 million mark, and we would want to know how that was exceeded. Won't we exceed? Won't we be allowed to exceed, and all of that? But it's so at 7 is 2.1. At 6 is 1.8. I know the most favorable from the speaker or the House chair will be the option 3, but the committee mandated me that they don't want that to happen. But we are giving these options to them so that we see if the issue is around us not going, or it's really around the expenses. Now, honorable members, I've been back and forth because other committees seems to be favored to be going for these trips. For an example, other committees would go and they are 8 or 7, but the expense is 3 million. My argument is it about the composition or about the money? If it's about the money, it doesn't justify the argument that we can't all go at 2.7, because all of us are not going to get a rollover. Now, if you spend 3 million now and somebody signed for you to go to the UK at 3 million, how are they going to be functioning? And if they're not going to be functioning, you must tell us, because you are able to tell us that we won't be functioning without man. And if they are going to be functioning the same way they're going to be functioning, let us function so that we are not treated differently. So there is still that back and forth, honorable members. For an example, there are others that are busy with visas, more or less the same budget. They get to be signed for, we are not, and all of this. So Honorable Frolic, when he called me, he was starting to see that trend of inconsistency, and he was assuring me that he will follow those inconsistencies because he doesn't believe that he authorized them himself, and he has some concerns that he's going to speak to the speaker about, and will give me a feedback by today. But I will also call the speaker after this meeting to request for an update on these options. And I'm going to argue what I'm arguing now, not because I just want to argue, but there are facts on the table that it doesn't make sense that 10 people will spend 2.7. You are saying they're too expensive. 8 people or 7 people went for a study tour, they spent 3 million. It's acceptable. It can't be. So is there any addition, Ms. Boss? That's where we are, honorable members. Ms. Boss?
No, Chair, there are no additions on my side. We'll just wait for your feedback from the speaker. But my worry was on the visa issue, because if we don't get something by today, we are late already. So I'm not sure. But also after this meeting, I will just get an assistance from the Canadian counterparts with a link. If proactively we can ask members to, in the meantime, while waiting for the response, we will try to do our visa. I'm not sure, Chair, that will be correct, or should I wait for you for the response? Because we don't know what the speaker will respond to, how many members. But I will suggest that all the members, we can start doing our visa in the meantime, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, normally announcements are not discussed, but these ones we are welcome to. I'm as frustrated as you probably are, so one may need fresh minds to approach this. So I will allow that we talk about it. I had seen Honorable Mani's hand.
Yeah, Chair. I was going to propose that I think, firstly, I must really appreciate how you've been handling the matter and how you've been our steward in this whole discussion. My recommendation, Chair, is that I think you should stick to. We've already made what to call it a savings by the gracious position that Honorable Mklongo said she might not go because of her condition and so on. So we've already made a saving there. So I was going to propose, Chair, that we stick on option 1, and then the speaker's issue about how we're going to or we're not going to be able to function. It's only one term. It then means that we then have to relook at how we function within the limited constraints that we will have for that one term. I think let's proceed on those bases, Chair. I mean, I actually don't even understand what is this big cost that is spoken about for our functioning, because Parliament is there. We go there every day, regardless, and therefore we find a venue and so on. So I might not even understand what that cost means, but I don't think that it can be a deal breaker that we find. I mean, if you look at a situation where we had COVID, or what was that thing, or not COVID, the breaking of the banning of Parliament, we had hybrid. So Plan B always can be there, Chair. So I just think that if we say we've got 300,000, then we just say, how do we make sure that 300,000 sustains us for the term? And so that's my recommendation, Chair, that we stick on option 1, and we operate on skeleton arrangement for the next term, but will still be effective nonetheless. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mani. Any other view or just a comment? Honorable Ntlangwini?
Thank you, Chair. No, I support the Honorable Manye in his view, Chair, with option 1. So let's stick to option 1. Thank you.
Honorable Hassan? Thank you, Honorable Ntlangwini.
No, thanks, Chair. I'm also in agreement. I think we need to exhaust option 1 to its fullest capacity. I don't want a situation where, I mean, we have a very active committee. Honorable members really do their best here. And now when it's time to learn new opportunities and new things, now all of a sudden there's a problem on the parliamentary side. So I think let's push it as far as we can. And then we can come back. I mean, already Honorable Flolo, as Honorable Mani has mentioned, is not coming. But I do think we should do our best, very best, to exhaust that option. There are other portfolio committees that went almost all of them. So I agree with you. Let's push as far as we can. And yeah, we're a team here, we're a family here, and we don't want to leave anybody behind. Thanks.
Thank you. Honorable members, that was the only item left, I believe, Ms. Boss.
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, we will deal with that issue that we just concluded in the manner that I had explained, and take your counsel. Honorable members, we will alert you if you must pack your bags and go back to Cape Town for the urgent meeting if we don't get what we will be requesting for to the department. I believe it's a fair request we're making, and I'm looking forward that Honorable Mantashe will take it. Thank you very much, honorable members. The meeting stands adjourned.
Long live the chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.